Hey everybody, this is JD79, and man, Sony, and right now I'm not shocked about Vita's being units been sold for 15,209 units, and I'm not like an anti-Sony here. I had a lot of PS3 games here, but we're gonna be literating about my stance on the PlayStation Vita here. Okay, comments here. Okay, so 15,209 units here, and that's actually selling way less than maybe 3 or 4. And it was like when Nintendo wasn't even satisfied in this. Nintendo's satisfied here. Yeah, I think everyone's saying that's only the Charlie Sheen of the things here, but really, Sony is right now not admitting to why your systems is not selling here, and I'm like, oh, it's too early to worry about the handheld here. Now, if you're not too worried about the handheld, why is it the fact that the Sony is like, look, the 3DS is selling hundreds of thousands of units a week, and okay, PlayStation keeps coming down here. I'm going to take the reports of the PlayStation Vita, like here, and the manufacturing cost of the components here is that it costs $160 to do this here. So in other words, Sony is making $90 to $140 depending on what the hardware is. They're actually making a big profit off the systems itself. And I've already left the comment here. It's probably like buried here. But anyways, this on top of you're making a system that's $160 to produce, selling it for $250, and on top of that, way overcharging for the memory cards. What do you see there, people? What do you see of this relations between this what's coming up and the poor sales in Japan? Sony that If Sony is not worried about the poor sales and the things, I do see a problem of why the Japanese people are not buying the systems. They're just too overpriced. I'm saying, if you want to be, I think that really Sony can afford to drop this price at least $100, and take a small hit, and then you can deal with the memory cards. But even that, you can probably just drop the prices down to like $60-$70, and you can still make a profit, and that can actually save off here of the system. So tell me, Sony, are you overpricing the PlayStation Vitas? It's like, no wonder why you're having poor sales of it. The 3DS is killing you. Nintendo, you are just basically letting in for Nintendo here, and you're also praising Nintendo for selling the systems here. Well, you're a competitor with Nintendo, Sony, so you gotta compete and see what you can do. I mean, really, Sony? I think that $150 price point is probably what's going to take for you to compete with Nintendo. Look, we already have Mario Kart, Super Mario, and a lot of other things that the PlayStation Vitas are right now enjoying themselves in Japan right now. But really, Nintendo's like selling like 200,000 or 300,000 units and stuff, but you're only selling 10% of the sales of So, I mean, you're going to need to look at this number here. If you're selling way too low, below it, and you're saying, what the things about this? One thing there's a long period since this takes it's dangerous and impossible. It's just way too early to make exciting conclusions. Yeah, 15,209 units. Don't worry, we don't have to do anything. Eventually the sales are going to get better. But seriously, Sony, you really just lowered the bar. That's not I'm saying that I'm not going to get the PlayStation Vita. Yeah, I'm looking for Little Big Planet. That's actually, I'm hearing some rumors that's now not coming out until May. Oh, what the freak? Sony. You really need to. I mean, you really need to man up. You need to listen to them. Look, Japan is the last. The games aren't selling, and yeah, I think that part of the reason why the Vita games are not in the 20 sellers, and the reason why your games are not selling, is because they can't afford the system. You see, you gotta put your. I mean, the consumer base is based upon systems sold, and if you want to price it so high, to a point where it's out of reach on some consumers, well, why don't you? And look, Sony, why don't you drop the price to like $150? Then your system, then the people would price $150, take a bit of a hit. Then maybe the games and the software and stuff that will make up for the little hit, a $10 hit, and then you make some profits out of the games. The profits would in no time make up for the loss of a $10. But no, you got to overprice it. You got to overprice it just trying to make money. Look, it doesn't work that way, Sony. And Sony's, I mean, if you price the system, if you price the system like if you price the system just too expensive, people are going to say, "F you, I'm buying the 3DS." The 3DS is reasonably priced. They've got better games, or that they're reasonably priced. They can afford the games. But Sony, you just have to overprice a unit. Oh, Sony. Sony. That's all I have to say. $15,219 units. If that number's so low, you gotta do something about it. Because, in other words, your sales are just stinking because it's so over. Why is the thing not selling? Because the PS Vita is overpriced. And yeah, $250 for the Vita and $120 something for the 32 bits. Come on. I can get a 32. I bought a 16-bit SD card for $20. So I think if you even price the memory sticks at 50 or 60 or something like that, it's lower price, but you still make the profits. Sony, drop the price of the Vita. Maybe you'll get more sales. JD out.